Greetings everyone, and welcome to Keeping Up with Papa, Life After Work, where we find out how one man manages to keep himself busy, physically active, and hopefully mentally engaged after retirement with projects. Today's project? Well, our 2015 Kubota BX2370 subcompact tractor has a new workmate. Check it out.
Mama, it is calling for that.
Oh, God, failed. Welcome back. That's right, we've added another implement to our stable, a MechMaxx 24-inch stump grinder. Why a stump grinder? I mean, it's not something that everyone would want to own. In fact, it's not something that I ever thought that I would own. So why did I buy it? Well, one very good reason. The math told me it was the smart thing to do. You see, recently a neighbor had about 20 trees cut down and he needed those stumps gone. I have maybe 5 or 6 old ones that I also need to have gone, and a third neighbor has at least 6, maybe 8 that he would like to have gone as well. Now our options were to hire a service, and for that many stumps, you're looking at a pretty good fee that would be pretty expensive. Or we could rent a stump grinder from some place like, say, Home Depot for maybe 3 days, and that would probably still cost around $1,000. Well, we chatted about this, and apparently Facebook overheard the conversation and started flooding my feed with stump grinder information. Now, I did not even know that you could buy a pull-behind stump grinder for a tractor this size, so I started doing a little bit of research. Well, it turns out that the price delivered is probably less than us hiring a service, and it's really about double the optional rental cost if we were to rent to do the same number of stumps. If we buy it, when our jobs are done, I still own the stump grinder, and I can use it for new stump applications, or I could even outsource that service for others in my spare time for a fee. And the final decision maker? Well, my neighbor agreed to front half the cost. Again, the math worked. 10 days later, here it is. Heads up that this is kind of a long video. Now, I originally did not plan to do a setup video, but I really hadn't seen a detailed one anywhere online, so this one just kind of came together. See the chapters down below to find your area of interest. Oh, and at the end of this video there's a special, yes, I'm an idiot, tractor maintenance screw-up that you might want to watch. Those are always fun. Let's get started. I have a 50-50 chance this is facing in the right direction. I bet it's not. Let's see. And it's not. It needs to be 180. I'm in no particular hurry to get this completely set up today. I'd like to, but I have a quick hitch on order and it arrives tomorrow afternoon. So I'll get as much of this done as I can and then do the final setup on the quick hitch. It's like 4 bolts on the corner. Nice metal table here. I bet I can reuse this. There's a center bolt here. I'm wondering if this thing will just spin on that center bolt without me having to take it out. Probably not. Up, on the other hand, it might work. How about that? There's the deflector. Cannot get this box out, so it's going to have to wait for me to get this off the rack, bottom rack. Got some decent hardware anyway. So on this end, it looks like it's just sitting there. It's nested. So this is where the quick hitch I have on order will really come in handy. For now, I think I'll just go ahead and hook it up. As you're probably aware, what's in here is the drive shaft. And it actually comes a little bit long, so it's going to probably be too long for this application without the quick hitch in place. Once we get it all hooked up, we'll measure it and check and see. This is the pin out of my box blade. It's going to be temporary. I'd rather use the other one. It's a little bit bigger around. And I'll take this down a little bit later and ream this out good, clean it out good with a Dremel. And at that point, that other pin will fit. Nice. See if we can pick her up. All right. Okay, we are off to a good start. It came right up, no problem. Let's find out what's in this box. Still doesn't want to come out. Oh yeah. Got your drive shaft, some necessary hardware. I believe this is a sleeve for holding a chainsaw. And chains. Looks good. So I know this is a required next step from watching videos. We'll compare these numbers to what's actually in the manual here in just a moment. But you need to measure from the groove on this part of this PTO to the groove on that PTO. So $29 and about a quarter. Let's take a look at the book. So right now I'm figuring we're going to have to trim the drive shaft even when the quick hitch shows up. You'll see there that it says 34 inches is needed. I have a lot less than that, about 5 inches less than that right now. So I'll probably have to take an inch off. So we will deal with that tomorrow after the quick hitch shows up. I was wondering where the hardware was. Hey, it's in here. Glad I found it. The rest of what's in here are a variety of wrenches as needed. I stated earlier that the hardware all came in this little tube. Well, the answer is no, it didn't, unless there's more hidden in there, and there's not. Some of it was already kind of in place, for example, on the chainsaw and holder, and then some of it is, I think, being reused from what held all this in place on the frame, on the packing frame. And obviously this is the deflector shield. I just realized that all this is metric. I've been using the English or Imperial version so far. Seemed to work okay. Nice. Okay. Let's figure out how that works. Gets a little confusing here because it calls out two bolts that aren't even there anywhere. And the bigger bolts it appears to call out won't even fit. So there are two small bolts I don't think have anywhere else to go. So that's what I'm putting here. There's always something. This bolt head will not allow this to go on. It must be a trick. There were also 4 grease zerks in the bag. No instructions in the instruction sheet on where to put them. Probably shouldn't be too difficult to find, or perhaps they're in fact already there and these are extras, which is kind of what it looks like because here's a zerk and it's got grease in it. So very nice of them to supply extras. When you first get the machine, you're supposed to set up your PTO shaft clutch run-in. It says to do it on the machine. I'm not really set up right now to put it on the machine, so while I've got a little time, I'm going to do it off the machine. I'll double check it when I get it on the machine sometime later this week. But it states for a PTO of 15 to 20 horsepower, I need a spring height of 1.26 inches, and to use the calipers, which I have right here. And they measure spring height from the bottom down here to the top right here. So this one is just, I mean, it's just about dead on. I have this, actually, I'm off a little bit there. Let's get this straight. 1.26 from there to there, it's perfect. Okay, so this is probably the way it came from the factory. 1.26. Top of the spring is at the base. I'm counting it as being at the base of the nut. And looking at the picture, that's what it appears to be. So, double checking. Base plate to the base of the nut, dead on. The base plate to the base of the nut. We are just talking such a small difference here. That one was a little bit high. Here's a slight run. I don't know how it could be any better. We're good. So now I will check these again when they go on, when this goes on the tractor later this week. In preparation for the MechMaxx stump grinder, I ordered in advance a Good Works tractor quick hitch. I have needed one of these for a long time. Did a lot of research online. This one I think is probably as good as you can get. So not much to show here. We hooked it up a little earlier today and it's working just fine. My next step, drop the MechMaxx off and attach the drive shaft to it. So before we can use the MechMaxx, we have a couple things we have to do. One is we have to make sure that the drive shaft fits properly for the application. Now, they are telling us that the shaft, when it's completely collapsed, is 34 inches long. They want you to have more than 34 inches of space between the splines, the grooves in the splines here and here. And in my case, it's 36 inches. They want it to be at least an inch beyond that. If that's fine, you're good to go. You don't have to do anything special. If it's shorter, you have to trim the drive shaft. I do not have to trim the drive shaft. If I were using this without the quick hitch, I would have to trim that drive shaft by a couple of inches. can I do this by myself? Let's find out. Huh. There you go. It's moving. Show you what I've got. Well, these two bolts are what tighten it down. Won't really loosen much more than that. All it says is connect the PTO shaft to the stump grinder and tractor end with the clutch end of the PTO shaft mounted to the stump grinder. Insert the locking pin on the clutch yoke and tighten the nut using a wrench socket. So I guess both those locking bolts, they call them locking pins, must have to come out. Just seems to me like the whole thing would fall apart if that happens. But worst case scenario is it falls apart. Okay, 2 pins are out. There it goes. All right. That was pretty obvious, wasn't it? Now the next big question is, when I hook the quick hitch up, will I still have enough room to hook this up to the tractor PTO? I guess we'll find that out. And also, by the way, I need to correct this sway. I'm aware of that. Maybe it will, with it raised up like that. I'll have enough spare room in there to get this to go in. There we go. And the answer is no, it will not work. Which means I have to unhook it, back it off a little bit, hook the PTO up first, and then hook the hitch up. Which is what I always do with the tiller anyway. After a few times, I'll have the feel for it. That's a pretty good gap. There you go. So this has a little pin on it that you press. It's new to me. I haven't seen that before. There you go. Locked. Sweet. Next is the security chains for the PTO. Don't quite reach. Very nice. A couple more things have to be done before first use. First is you need to tighten all the teeth with a 24mm ring spanner, and they supply one for you, so let's give that a shot. These are tight. I'm not sure how I would get them any tighter. some point I'll use a large wrench to tighten these, and you'll get some sort of a bar in here that will stop you from spinning. From the factory, I haven't budged a single one of these. You know, I think I'm ready to see if it runs. I'm secure on this end, I'm secure on that end. I have 2 locking pins here that have to be removed prior to use in the field. For now, just running it, I don't think it's going to make any difference. So I'm going to give it a shot and see how well it works. Before first use, I also have to raise these legs and lock them up out of the way. And I kind of need to get rid of this little bit of sway. And that's an adjustment made here on the back end. It's not critical at the moment, but I think it will be done before I grind my first stump. Just crank her up, drop it down level, see if it spins. All right, it worked. Let's do the last little bit of prep work here. Raise these. Neither one of those pins won't come out. I think maybe if I drop it, a little pressure on the go. And when not in use, we'll keep them in with the toolkit. That way I don't lose them. First stump with a new MechMaxx. I'm going to start off with a real small one, trying to learn my way around it. As I understand it, I have to be at full throttle to get the 520 or 540 revolutions per minute required by the PTO and the unit. And let's give her a shot. So in this case, I don't really need to get too deep. I just need to get down below the surface because I mow through here, and that's really it. Stirred up quite a few bull ants that were living inside that stump, but I seem to have gotten it down 2 or 3 inches below the surface. I'm very happy with that. It worked great. So for the moment, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go down and make the adjustments on the tractor. You saw the sway that was occurring in the back. I don't want that to happen. I want it to be stable. And tomorrow, we'll get a shot at doing a few more. It's the following morning, and I adjusted the 2 turnbuckles on the tractor, and my wobble is gone. Now I wobble, just happens the entire tractor wobbles. Also, I noticed yesterday, looking at the instruction manual, that I started on the wrong side of the grinder yesterday. I should be cutting here and moving in this direction towards this, not starting and moving in that direction, away from this, which they kind of call the left side of the tractor, or left side of the grinder. So we'll try that on this small stump down here, which shouldn't take but a minute or two. I don't think it'll really make any difference. The one yesterday was pretty small as well, but we'll try this one next. Okay, so from this perspective, from what I'm attempting to accomplish right here, I just want to get these below the ground. I'm not interested in really cutting them down 6 inches deep. So I'm covered up here just fine. Boy, ants. One thing that is important is they say you should engage the PTO at low RPM and then disengage the PTO at a low RPM. It cut it great, no problem at all. Very happy with it. This is a camphor stump. Camphors became very popular maybe 40, 50 years ago, and then people realized that they're an invasive, and they really are an invasive. They pop up just like crazy from seeds that get dropped and moved around by birds. So they're very difficult to kill. You cut them off at the base and you can spray them, do whatever you want, put in herbicide, and this doesn't pay attention to it. It just comes right back. So about the only way to really get it out is to get the stump out completely. I suppose you could burn it, but I really didn't want to do that. So this has a lot of camphor volunteer growth coming off this stump. It's been like this for 10 years. I keep having to cut it back every spring. So we're going to see if we can get this one out. Alright, great. Now I can actually see the stump, and I couldn't before. And by the way, this has a fragrance like Camphor. It's amazing how strong this smells. And this still smells, even though it's been cut down for 10 plus years. So, stump comes into here, and I'm going to start back over in here on this side and see if we can take her out. So this demonstrates something I should not be doing, which is scalloping in the middle of the stump. I didn't realize I was doing it. You should be getting deep cuts, moving to shallower cuts up in this direction. So to finish this off, I need to go over here, make a few passes, and dig that one down deeper, and then bring this over to the same height or depth over here. But it's working really well. Well, there is quite a learning curve on this thing. Figuring depths and angles and cuts. You may have noticed I dropped it too deep once or twice and chattered too much. I had to raise it back up again. So again, big learning curve, and also turning around and looking over your shoulder. It's going to get old after a while. I doubt I'll be doing this for hours and hours during the day. But this is really good. Now I've got the stump down to where I'll be able to pull all this back in and mow over it. Will it kill the stump on a camphor? I'm not sure it will. But at least at this point I'll be able to run the mower over when it comes up instead of trying to cut a around stump that's this tall. All right, looks good. I've done a couple more old camphor stumps. Now camphor is a softwood, it's pretty easy to cut. We're going to test this thing now. This is an oak stump. It was cut maybe 8 months ago, so it's fairly fresh still. And I think you can see that it's in the neighborhood of a 24-inch diameter. Should be fine. This is one that I need to get down maybe 6 inches below the below ground level. Let's give it a shot. Now, it's fair to say it's working pretty well. It's a learning curve, just how to back this thing up, not cut too deep. Cut too deep, it chatters too much. It's a lot of passes, but it's cutting it really, really well. Also, I have a root going way out into here, so I'm going to have to come back and take out a big section out here as well to get rid of that root. But I like the way it looks. I'm very pleased. One thing that's not really made completely clear by the instructions is, do I make all my passes across the top, take off 2 inches, another pass all the way across, or do I drop down and continue to drop down and just kind of work the whole stump? I'm kind of thinking it's take the top off, take another layer off, take another layer off, let another layer off. That's probably what I'll do. One thing I just discovered is that the depth of these cutting teeth here and this round disc here, it's a little bit lower, obviously. You can get a better view of one right here. So when you're looking at this from sitting on the seat and back behind you, you're not seeing those cutting teeth, you're just seeing this metal disc. And that's how you kind of gauge your depth. If I'm driving that metal disc down into this tough stump too much, it's going to bog down. So I'm not going to be able to cut. One suggestion I saw online was to have a blower handy so you can see your work. I see where that might come in handy for sure. Oh yeah, there's a lot more left than I thought. Probably 30-35 minutes into this one. I'm starting to see why those stump guys charge so much. This is not easy work, even though you're just sitting on a tractor or handling a remote control stump grinder. Alright, got a few stray roots that I'm going to cut out with the loppers, whatever they're called. Get that in a few minutes, and other than that, I think I'm done. Alright, so I am 4 stumps into it. One big one has been done, and what are my thoughts? Be honest, I'm impressed. This thing is a beast. It cuts really well. It does exceptionally well behind the BX2370, which almost kind of surprised me because it is a pretty small tractor. But the tractor handles it just fine. No issues at all. Very pleased with that. There is of course a learning curve involved. You got to learn how to line everything up and how deep to drop it and how fast to move. And it tells you when it's not happy. So it's easy enough for you to fix it when that happens. So all in all, I am extremely pleased. Got a lot of work for it coming up over the next couple of weeks. Final thoughts, what did I learn from this experience? Well, the first thing that's important I learned is you need to have a low PTO speed when you engage, and then run your tractor speed back down, and a low PTO speed when you disengage. That protects the clutch. Now when grinding, you need to be running the engine at full speed. That gets your PTO up to that 530, 40 RPMs that are required to grind properly. When repositioning after a cut, you want to be moving in this direction. In other words, you want this deflector to be over what you're cutting. So you cut a stump here, you make your cut, you move a little bit in this direction, a little bit in this direction, a little bit in this direction. It's designed to cut in this quadrant. When you're backing up, raise the grinder a sufficient height to clear the stump and then drop it back down again. As you're backing up, if you haven't done that, you'll do a little bit of cutting, but you'll also either cause it to bog down, you might damage a tooth, and it throws chips like crazy in the wrong direction, meaning this way and right up to the driver. It's not a lot of fun getting hit by those. Take smaller bites. Be patient. Don't bog down the tractor. Just take your time and pull forward nice and slow. I really haven't seen how this is supposed to be done, but I think the pattern I'm going to use is I want to make a full pass repositioning across the stump, start over there again and drop a little lower, and take entire sections off one at a time instead of cutting straight down deeper and deeper and then coming over and cutting straight down deeper and deeper. That second way causes you to be taking too big of a bite out of the stump, and you may cause the grinder to bog down and the engine to cut off. Monitor your depth. Hey, find the sweet spot. Too deep and you'll bog it down. You saw me do it. Keep a blower with you and blow off your work so you can see what you've cut and what you need to cut next. Maybe most important, there is a learning curve. Just embrace that, don't fight it. It'll take you multiple stunts before you're comfortable. Honestly, I still have a long way to go. This is not how I wanted to spend my Saturday. Yesterday, I spent a couple of hours changing the leaking seal on the left front wheel here on the Kubota 2370, BX2370. While I was at it, I decided I would go ahead and change the seals on the right front wheel, as it is common for one to follow the other in failure. Well, it didn't quite work out the way I expected it to. I reassembled everything, and you can see right here there's a groove, and in that groove a C-clip goes, a circlip. And I installed the one on the far side just fine, no problem. I reinstalled the one on this side just fine, I thought, no problem at all. Clip right back into place, and actually I'll take it back, it was quite a bit of a problem. It took me about 45 minutes each side to get those things seated again properly. Not easy. That said, this one I thought was done perfectly. I backed out of the garage and took a little quick turn, and the right front wheel fell off. That clip was not in place. During the process of it coming apart, the clip was damaged, so I need to run over this morning and get a new clip. Hopefully it'll slide right into place without having to do any disassembly on the hub cover. And put that thing back together later today. You'll also notice that these have split for the second time, but of course it's got 1,000 hours on it, so I can't complain about that. Almost 1,200 now. Those are on order, and I'll put those in just as soon as they show up early next week. Well, that's it. Another project completed. Or I guess I should say another project has been started, because this project will be going on for a long time to come. As always, questions and comments are welcome, and please remember to like and share and subscribe. And I will see you next time on Keeping Up with Papa, Life After Work. Papa out.